Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
well, good evening, everybody. Exciting night. We will start with item D on the agenda, presentation of service award for Chief David Mack. Chief, come on up.
All right, come on, Chief. I promise I won't bite. So I'm going to read something before I present you with your award, so just bear with me. So as we stand before you today, we come together to celebrate and bid a farewell to an amazing police chief. I hope everyone in the crowd are filled with profound sense of gratitude, pride, humility for Chief Mack, as I am. From early on in his career to his tenure as Chief of Police of the Napoleon Police Department, it has been an honor and a privilege to work and watch you serve your community. Throughout your career, you have had the opportunity to work side along some of the most dedicated, skilled, and courageous men and women, but little did you know we all felt the same way working with you. Your unwavering commitment to protecting our community and upholding the values of integrity, professionalism, and compassion has truly been inspiring. You have faced numerous challenges, but it is through your collective efforts with your peers that you have made a positive impact on the safety and the well-being of our citizens. I hope I can speak on behalf of those in this room when I say we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your support, trust, loyalty during this time serving your department, from a patrol officer to the Chief of Police. Your resilience and dedication to the mission of safeguarding our community have made it an honor to work alongside you. I am confident in the individuals that you have grown into amazing leaders out in the crowd who will continue to thrive and excel in the mission of the police department to protect and serve our community. To your family, especially Roberta, thank you for your unwavering love and support throughout the years. Your understanding, patience, and encouragement have been the bedrock for your husband's success. We are forever grateful for you and your sacrifices and how you have stopped at nothing to not only be here for your husband, for all of those men and women out in the hallway and those up here at the city building. As you close this chapter of your life and you look forward to new beginnings, I hope you are reminded of the immense responsibility you had while wearing your badge. To those who will carry on the tradition of service and dedication, I urge you to never forget the oath that you took, like Chief Mack, and to always act with integrity and treat every member of our community with respect and compassion, just as he did. As you retire from the Napoleon Police Department on Friday, to be exact, I hope you are filled with pride and gratitude for the opportunity to have served, like we are able to work alongside you. We will always cherish the memories, friendships, and bonds you have formed, and may you continue to hold your head up knowing your legacy will always be honored due to your courage and unwavering dedication that you have provided to the city and to our community. So on behalf of that, we would like to present this service award for 28 years of service to the city of Napoleon, and we thank you for everything you've done. You should get your wife up here to take a picture. Whatever side you want.
Have your speech ready? Do I have a minute? Thank you, Brittany. Those were absolutely very kind words, and I appreciate it. I appreciate giving the opportunity to say a few words, Council President. Congratulations, by the way. I promise this will be the shortest speech you've ever heard from me. That I promise you. As I stand here before you today, to be honest, I'm filled with a sense of sadness and one of great pride. After many years of dedicated service to this community, to the family at the department, my family and I decided a few months ago that we needed to go into our next chapter. It was a family decision because that's the way my entire career has been. Based around the family. Many of you heard me talk and thank them before at other events, but I would like to at least take one last opportunity. I don't get the mic very often at home nowadays, I've learned. Roberta, you and the kids are my heartbeat and my absolute soul. I would not have survived this career without your encouragement over the last 3 decades. You were there 29 years ago when I took my first oath of office and graduated the academy, and you're here with me tonight as I leave early to my last council meeting, sorry. There will be many days and nights, there were many days and nights that I truly did not know whether I was gonna make it to the next shift. Whether that be because of sheer exhaustion, because of the hours, or the case that we were working, or the tremendous amount of stress that you survive through or have to survive through in this line of work at times, or to be honest, the type of call that we were on. I knew one thing, Bert, when I got home, you would be there. And absolutely pushing me out the door the next day. So to my love, thank you for everything and for your support. To the department, you will always be in my heart, my mind, and my prayers. It has been an absolute privilege, as Brittany said, to serve alongside you guys. It's something that very few get the chance to say, that they've led a group of dedicated professionals that we have had the opportunity at our department. I am proud of the many accomplishments that we have achieved during my tenure as chief. There has been so much change, and with it, I've asked for your patience and your trust in me, and you gave it to me, so I do appreciate that. Thank you. As the saying goes, everyone wants change, but no one wants to go through that change. We all like our norms. I am one of those individuals. I like my comfort zone. However, I want to, kind of leave you with a couple last concepts that you've heard me say before. One, about change. If you're not changing or moving, you are becoming stagnant, just like a body of water with no current. Please keep that in mind going forward. You have been unwavering in your commitment to me, our department, and our community. As I've said, we've accomplished a significant amount of important items over the last 6 years. None more important to me, and I think to this community, than building the trusting relationships with our community partners, our fellow area law enforcement agencies, and our various partners in the health department, job and family services, and Center for Child and Family Advocacy. During times of promotion, a lot of things can be rough. Keep your head high, eyes forward, and remember there are things that you do control. As I went through my career, there were a lot of things out of my control. What shift I was working, what days I was working, got promoted at times. But, you know, some of you have heard me say this before, but I want to leave you tonight with the same passage. Dr. Gil Martin, who's a police psychologist, always said a few things. There are 3 things that you will control. First of all, you have 100% control of your integrity. You have 100%. On the second note, 100% control on your professionalism that you show our community and how well you do your job. While many things will be out of your control over your career, those three things, the most important things, are 100% within your control. As I reflected on my time as chief, I am very grateful for the support and guidance of our other community members, our city leaders, council, our elected officials. I am confident that the department will continue to thrive under our new leadership, remain committed to the upholding the highest standards of professionalism and excellence. I want to express my sincere gratitude to our community for their trust and support, and not only me, but our department. Law enforcement has went through some tough times. Our commitment as an agency is to be here for our citizens. That will not change. I will forever cherish the memories and experiences I've gained during my time as a police officer in this community. Finally, this is kind of a message to my chief, or the new, will be soon new chief and assistant chief. The journey you're about to embark is one of our utmost importance. It bears a great level of responsibility. You will now have the health and well-being of everyone, of our families, of our co-workers, and of the thousands of citizens that call this town their home, and the thousands more that visit us on a daily basis. Challenge yourselves to stay current and to stay relative, and always have the eye into the future. Ask yourself, what are the future needs of our agency going to be in our profession? Law enforcement in general has always been reactive in nature. When we see something, we respond to it. As a chief, you cannot afford to allow yourself to be reactive in nature. You must be proactive and always looking to address the next challenges, and or threats that our profession will see. This is now your responsibility. Our community's safety depends on this foresight. Our department's safety depends on that foresight. Congratulations to both you, Ed and Justin, on your promotions. I wish you nothing but success. You've got 2 prior chiefs that are very close to lean on if you need to. He's closer. A long way to my house. Thank you, council, I appreciate it, and thank you for giving me a couple minutes.
It's going to be hard to follow. We'll do our best to attempt to follow that, Chief. Thank you for all your years of service and your dedication to this community. We will move on to item E, swearing in of new police chief, Ed Legg.
Hey, welcome. Here. You? Okay. Repeat after me, sir. I state your name.
I, Edward Legg,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Ohio,
and the state of Ohio,
and the charter, ordinances, and resolutions
and the charter, ordinances, and resolutions
of the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
of the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and the laws in the state of Ohio,
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
and perform all duties
and perform all duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as the chief of police,
as the chief of police,
to which I have been appointed,
to which I have been appointed,
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
Congratulations. You need a signature,
Sign it,
please. Okay.
All right.
Floor.
Wow.
That's there.
Chief Mack, that's a hard one to follow, but I will do my best. I would like to thank you all for coming out tonight. It was a cold night, kind of difficult to get out. Thank you for this great honor, and I pray every day that I will bring honor to this position and honor to myself in doing it. I would like to thank my wife Angie, who, without her unwavering love and support, our COP family would not function. We would not be able to do it. Also thanking my children in Austin and Annika out in the audience. They said I wasn't supposed to say their names, but I did anyway. My other family members who have come today, thank you. Thank you to all of our esteemed guests that are here tonight as well, city council members, mayor. I would like to point out two people who have mentored me and provided me with balance. And I believe balance is an important word to say, because that's what's necessary in any type of a position like this. Chief David Mack and Chief Robert Weitzel. I thank you both for being there for me, for showing me the way, for a spirited argument when it was necessary. I appreciate that. And last, to the officers and dispatchers in the Napoleon Police Department. The most honorable and hardworking organization I have ever had the honor of working with. And I am proud to lead you. Thank you. I've been asked many times, what is your plan for the department? First and foremost is to provide the people with the best training, the best equipment, and the best opportunities that I can work every day to give them. They deserve that, and they can provide to our citizens everything that they need every day, and to serve our society increasingly complicated world. To that end, I would like to part with some words from our 26th President, Theodore Roosevelt. President Roosevelt was not only president, but he was a military commander of the cavalry unit during the Spanish-American War. He led the charge up San Juan Hill. He's also known as the father of our national parks. And as well, he was police commissioner of the city of New York. So it's quite a resume. So I think anything he might have to say might be relevant to us. In 1910, he gave a speech that came to be known as the Man in the Arena speech. If you have not looked at it, if you have not seen it, I suggest you do. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You're welcome. But I believe at least the first part of this has a lot to do with how we are, everyone in this room and everyone in the society. It starts out, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man in the arena. All right. That's the very first sentence. So as we read the entire speech, we say to ourselves, yep, that's me. I'm the man in the arena. That's me every day. But on deeper reflection, do we not find ourselves as the critic? Do we not find ourselves as the man who points out how other people have failed? Myself included. So my challenge for all of us is simple: to be the man in the arena. And when that friend that family member, that coworker stumbles, be there to pick him up. And as Roosevelt concludes, so that his place shall never be with the cold, timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So I'd like to thank you for this time together. Appreciate Chief Mack. I hope I followed you up well. Thanks, everyone.
Congratulations, Chief.
Be successful.
Pass yours on to your troops.
I will. Definitely will. Thanks.
Do you want any more pictures?
Are they?
Take a picture.
Tanya, you got it? Well, the fun isn't stopping there. We're going to bring up Assistant Chief Justin Roofer. Perfect.
After all that, who we have with you here. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Jeff. Ready? Okay, I state your name.
I, Justin Roofer,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Ohio,
and the state of Ohio,
and the charter, ordinances, and resolutions
and the charter, ordinances, and resolutions
of the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
of the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
and perform all duties
and perform all duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as Assistant Chief of the city of Napoleon, Ohio.
as Assistant Chief of the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
I left out department. According to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay.
Floor's yours.
I have a shorter version. Ask any of those wonderful men and women back there, I'm kind of known for being short and to the point. First of all, congratulations to Chief Mack. I don't think any of us would be here without your guidance, your expertise, and your mentorship over these years. It's a well-deserved retirement, boss. That being said, it's an honor to have been selected to fill the role of Assistant Chief of Police. I fully understand the responsibility that comes with the position, and I do not take that responsibility lightly. I'll be steadfast in ensuring the citizens of Napoleon continue to be provided with the quality police services that they're accustomed to. It would not be possible for me to fill this position without the help and support of countless people along the way. First and most importantly, a huge thank you to my wonderful wife, Shaylee, and my beautiful daughters, Brooklyn and Maddie. All three of you have made sacrifices over the years that have allowed me to pursue my career goals, and I can't thank all three of you enough. Thank you to the current city administration and Chief Legg for having the confidence in me to fill this role. Thank you to all the former chiefs, supervisors, mentors, friends, and coworkers that I've had the privilege to serve with over my career. The knowledge and wisdom that I have collected from all of you has been nothing but helpful. And thank you to all the men and women we currently have at the Napoleon Police Department. I've always said our people are our single greatest asset, and I truly believe we have great people in our ranks. I look forward to what we can accomplish together. Again, it's an honor being selected for this role, and I promise to work diligently every day to make the police department and the city a better place to live and work. Thank you.
He does that. Strickland has it out there. All right, we're good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Last hurrah. Last hurrah. The door. Make sure you're all safe.
That means you're not staying.
With spirit.
Thanks, Chief. All right. It's always fun to do.
Yes.
We will move on to item G on our agenda. That is the approval of minutes from the January 2nd, 2024 regular council meeting. In the absence of any corrections or objections, the minutes shall stand approved. They will stand approved. I'm really trying to buy us some time. For folks that should go out here. We will move on to item H, citizen communication. If there's anyone in attendance that would like to address council on anything outside of the agenda, feel free to come forward. Hearing none there.
There's one.
Oh, sorry.
What's that?
Sir, there's a sign-in up there. If we could just have you sign in and please state your name and address for us.
We're training crowd control. Not used to doing that here in Napoleon, are we?
Not that many people fit in there all the way down, though.
My name is Ed Biederstedt. Address is 17250 County Road Q1, Napoleon, Ohio.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Floor is yours.
Like I stated, my name's Ed Biederstedt. And for me, I understand Chief Weitzel, but a lot of times I go back to Lieutenant Weitzel. I came across this article dated June 22nd, 1992. It shows a picture of me with George Smith, the then police chief of Napoleon, Ohio. And I was a new patrol officer at that time at Napoleon. I'm currently running for Henry County Sheriff. Napoleon was instrumental for me in my foundation. After graduating from Patrick Henry High School, I went to Bowling Green State University. And I found out college, like most people, is expensive. So I joined the military. I went into the Air Force, National Guard, to help pay for college. And I'm glad I did, because it gave me the great respect for not only the dedication of the veterans and the active duty people, but those who served in war. And not only those, but what about the spouses and the family? So at that point in time, I needed that. I needed that discipline, that knowledge of all the sacrifices that some good people did back then and still do today. So after college, I came to Napoleon Police Department, and they sponsored me through the police academy. But they did not have a job for me. So I took a job at the village of Weston outside of Bowling Green. And after 3 short months, I was a police chief. Way too young. But it gave me some great experience in addressing council. I had to fire somebody. I had to hire somebody. I had to deal budget. I had to look at policies. And then the opportunity came to work at Napoleon Police Department. I've lived in the county almost my entire life, other than the 3 months I was in San Antonio, Texas for the Air Force. So I've been here my entire life. And I had the opportunity to work under great people like Bob Weitzel, great mentor, great person. I never won an argument with him, though. In all my times I tried. But that is a part of learning, and that's a part of teaching and a part of mentoring, and he did that very well. So I don't think I ever publicly gave you that credit.
Well, it wasn't necessary yet.
But I've got deep respect and love for you. But working here at Napoleon, after about 5.5 years, it provided me an opportunity to work for the Ohio Attorney General as a special agent with Bureau of Criminal Investigation. So my last 29 years, I've been either investigating narcotics, investigating crime scenes, or supervising. I supervised the crime scene unit, the special investigation unit for about 3 years, and we covered 22 counties. I've assisted as well as assigned to the multi-area narcotics unit. And just a couple years ago, we had an investigation that took off 4 pounds of methamphetamine that was coming in each and every month. They looked upon me to do some of the bigger search warrants, whether it was a car, a house, packages, etc. Facebook Messenger. At that point in time, I did not have Facebook, but someone had to do it. So I learned to do warrants. And with all the time I've had, if I didn't know something, I knew people that knew something. And I still have that today. Currently, after 35 years, I did retire. I now teach at the University of Toledo. And some people are like, well, what do you teach? I teach things that are current for someone still in law enforcement. And I still hold my commission. But I teach management, supervision, and criminal justice. I teach investigation. They allow me to teach narcotics investigation. I'm teaching bloodstain analysis, as well as introduction to policing and law enforcement. So I am teaching the stuff that's still current, that will still be useful to me. So as I go about my election, I just want to, put my name out there, put a face with a name, that Henry County has been and will continue to be home. I've had many times where people said, hey, Ed, why don't you live closer to Columbus? Why don't you live London? And I'm like, no, because sometimes after a long night of working, and some of my work was long nights, Some of the times I would come home because of my job, when I was working narcotics in an undercover capacity, I would come home smelling like beer and cigarettes and alcohol. But while I'm driving back from these places, once I hit Henry County, I'm like, wow, this is home. Once I hit Napoleon, Corporation Napoleon, I was like, wow, this is home. So, I mean, for me, I've got no place to go because there is no place to go that's better than Henry County. And my wife is still teaching at Napoleon area schools. And we have raised two great kids who went to Napoleon. So for me, my future is hopefully being the next Henry County Sheriff. I know I'm not from within the Henry County Sheriff's deputies or within the Henry County Sheriff's Office, but I've been within the Napoleon Police Department. And it was kind of awesome tonight watching Chief Mack, Chief Weitzel, and the new stuff coming up, Justin and Ed. And I'm like, these guys are solid. And I hope they look at me like, from what they remember, although with Chief Mack, I was already coming out the door, but I knew him coming up. And he was a great asset to Napoleon Police Department. Great asset as a chief, great guy. And I hope I can still continue that when we bump into each other on the streets, it's like, you're still a great guy. He mentioned something, do not become stagnant. That's why I'm here tonight. You know, could I be stagnant? That's not me, though, to be honest. I'm not ready to be stagnant. Life is nothing but changes. And for me, he mentioned challenges. I believe in challenges. Some people want to call them obstacles, but obstacles are something you really can't overcome sometimes. But a challenge, why not? I took a challenge to be a BCI agent, to be a supervisor. I took those challenges, and I enjoyed it. I took a challenge to be a lecturer for the University of Toledo. I did not have a teaching background. I took that challenge. I'm doing that now. So can I accept another challenge? I believe I can.
And I'm
So-
gonna have to stop you there. We give a 5-minute time limit.
Well,
I'll
thank
give you
you.
a couple extra minutes. but-
I enjoy that. Now, you do have a meeting tonight. Am I allowed to drop any of these off or not?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Well,
if you would like to leave them on the table. we
I
can pass
will.
them out right afterwards.
Thank you for your
Yes, sir.
time.
Ed, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for stopping in.
Enjoy.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll move on to item I, reports from council committees. Item I-1, the Electric Committee did not meet on January 8th, 2024 due to lack of agenda items. I-2, the Water, Sewer, Refuse, Recycling, and Litter Committee did meet on January 8th, 2024. And Mr. Hayes.
We recommend to council to approve the proposed rates and fees supporting the sanitation and refuse revenue fund.
Thank you, sir. Item I-3, the Municipal Properties, Building, Land Use, and Economic Development Committee did not meet on January 8th due to lack of agenda items. I-4, the Finance and Budget Committee met on January 10th, 2024. And Tom.
Okay, yeah, we approved the minutes from the September 25th Finance Committee meeting, as well as the 2024 Annual Budget meeting, the day and a half review. We approved those minutes. Also, then the Finance Committee reviewed and approved and will be voted on tonight under item K on the agenda, the budget adjustments. And again, the budget adjustments are transfers. With transfers, it's from one account to another, so it's really net zero, as most know here. And then the supplementals. Supplementals are actually increases to the budget. So again, we'll see those in the two ordinances that we're voting on under K. You'll be able to see both the transfers and the adjustments. And any questions, of course, Kevin will be able to answer for us.
Very good. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Item I-5, the Parks and Recreation Committee did not meet on January 15th due to lack of agenda items. We'll move on to item K, introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. The first one being ordinance number 001-24, An ordinance supplementing the annual appropriation measure, supplement number 4 for year 2023, and declaring an emergency. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Thank you. Kevin?
Thank you, Council President, and thank you, Councilman Weaver. That's the best description of a committee meeting we've ever had, so keep it up. So we're going to have two ordinance tonight. I'm going to ask for suspension under both of those. Just to cover that, first of all, the suspension would allow us to not do the 3 reads, and this allows us to officially close out the books for 2023 if they both pass tonight. So that's the reason why I'm going to ask for the suspension. So the first one here is ordinance 1-24 is the supplemental, and this is the one where we actually raise the budget. And so if you look at Exhibit A, and I will not go over these unless you have specific questions as they were discussed at committee. These are the line items that we had to increase for various reasons. Some of them are good. For example, in Fund 170, that means we did not budget enough for our income tax, so we had to, as we distributed out the income tax to other funds, we had to raise that so that we did not go over the budget of those expenses. And then as for the others, we had to make sure adjustments, so at the end of the year, all of our line items were not overdrawn with that. Again, if you have specific questions, I'll be more than happy to address those, but again, that's what this first resolution is for.
Thank you, Kevin.
Motion for suspension.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Perfect. Marissa, please call the roll for suspension.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Any questions or comments on the ordinance? I'm hearing none. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
All right, that will pass under suspension, under emergency. We'll move on to item K2, ordinance number 002-24, an ordinance authorizing the finance director to make appropriation transfers, transfer of appropriation 4, from one appropriation line item to another appropriation line item pursuant to ORC section 5705.40 for the fiscal year ending in December 31st, 2023, as listed in Exhibit A, and declaring an emergency. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Thank you. Kevin?
So this is the transfer appropriations where we take what was budgeted from one line item that was not going to be used, and we apply it to another line item within the same fund. We prefer to do this because this does not increase the overall budget total line amount. Actually, if we would put these in order, this one probably should have went first because we tried our very best to not increase the budget, so we would try to match up line item, like the first one from travel training to miscellaneous operating costs. And again, we do this to balance out at the end of the year that all expense line items are not overdrawn with that. If there's specific questions about any of them, I'll be more than happy to answer them. But again, the reason this one here, the exhibit is so long, it's several pages, is because we would prefer to do this method. And we know, especially in the fourth quarter at the end of the year, that we are not going to use funds in some line items so we could draw from there. And again, we ask for suspension.
Thank you, Kevin. Is there a motion for suspension?
A motion.
Second.
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions or comments regarding the ordinance? I'm hearing none. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Council President, before you go any further, I just want to thank you all for doing this. And again, this officially, tomorrow, will be closing out our books for 2023. So I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to item L, second reading of ordinances and resolutions. We have none this evening. Item N, third reading of ordinances and resolutions. resolution number 057-23, a resolution imposing an immediate moratorium on the issuance and processing of permits, allowing retail dispensaries, cultivators, or processors of adult use marijuana within the city of Napoleon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Andy?
There are no changes to this, Council President. And again, this is just a 7-month moratorium. It allows us to put it off until July 31st, and hopefully wait until the state has done their thing with the proposed law.
I know our legislators at the state were out for holiday break. Has there been any update on this?
None. None.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns regarding the resolution? I am hearing none. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
That will pass on third read under emergency. We'll move on to item N, good of the city. N1 is discussion or action, approval of power supply cost adjustment factor for January 2024 as PSCA 3-month average factor 0.02264 and JV2 0.041215. Andy?
Yes, Council President. As you can see, the PSCAF is up slightly month over month, but keeping it in perspective, we're coming off some of the lowest numbers we've had in a couple of years. So there's really nothing significant about this month's numbers.
Can you explain PSCA, just for our new council members?
I will do my very best. Our electric rates are made up of basically 4 different charges. You have your customer charge of $6 a month. You have a distribution charge that applies to every kilowatt hour you use. You have your power supply charge, which is actually the actual cost of power that we attach a number to, which is 7.28 cents. And then this rider, so to speak, is the power supply cost adjustment factor. And then that is applied every month just to make up the difference for what, take my glasses off, for what our actual costs were versus zero things out. So that we're basically recouping everything that we've paid out for the charge, for the cost of power every month.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If there are no questions, could we have a motion to approve?
I'll motion.
Second. Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
I will move on to item N2, discussion or action, acceptance of the Bureau of Workers' Compensation Safety Intervention Grant of $33,203.25.
Yes, Council President. I did get a text from Chief Bowen this evening. He had an issue at home, weather-related issue at home he had to take care of, so he apologized for not being here this evening. I know Brittany did a lot of the work in obtaining this grant. I don't know if you wanted to speak to it at all?
Sedgwick, who's our management company who helps keeps our rates low for BWC, reached out for our quarterly meeting and explained that there was a safety and intervention grant that was out there for us to obtain if possible. Chief Bowen had originally built into the budget to get some type of extrication equipment with the understanding of going for a grant of some sort. And it was tied between going for a grant for extrication or something EMS. I was able to find this grant and go a different avenue for them to save even more money. So it allows them, the extrication equipment total is $44,271. And with the grant given to us, the only thing the city has to pay out is $11,247.75, which he did budget for an amount of money which was $42,500 roughly was what it was budgeted for 2024. So way under budget, and allows him to utilize the rest of the funds for other items as well.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you for finding that and for applying for that. Any other questions, comments? Can we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Okay. Brittany, thanks again. Item N3, discussion or action, Water, Sewer, Refuse, Recycling, and Litter Committee recommendation to council to approve the proposed rates and fees supporting the Sanitation Refuse Revenue Fund. Andy?
Yes, Council President. This issue was brought to my attention last spring or fall, spring or summer by the operations staff, which really started initially as a discussion about yard waste rates, but turned into a much more comprehensive review of all of our refuse recycling rates, anything that supports the 560 Revenue Fund or the 561 Depreciation Reserve Fund for the Refuse Department. The refuse rates themselves have not been modified in 15 years, since 2008. The proposed changes are based on actual costs, which include the disposal fees. Our solid waste disposal fees have doubled in the last 3 years. We're now paying $10 a ton, whereas 3 years ago we were paying $5 a ton. Recycling cost, our contract with Whirler has been at $45 a ton since 2018. We've made effort to get feedback from them in terms of what they're going to do. Our contract expires at the end of '24. So far, they haven't, they've been very non-committal on what's going to happen at the end of the year for their rates. Chemical costs are involved in this because of mosquito spraying. Those have shot up over the last 15 years. And fuel prices, the diesel prices, when these rates were set, were $1.71 a gallon, and when we did this review, they were $4.84 a gallon, or $4.48 a gallon. And then you factor in the overall effects of inflation on operational costs, wages and benefits, et cetera. You can imagine what that has done to our funds over the years. The yard waste fees haven't been modified since they were established in 2004, so 20 years. Most rates, we simply applied the rate of inflation, the CPI for a new fee structure. And we really tried to target the increases to the greatest users, or those that were affecting our costs the greatest, and those are the commercial tree, landscape, and lawn services that utilize our facility. We ground brush 3 times this past year. So we're spending upwards of almost $50,000 just to grind the brush. We're not trying to penalize anybody. We're just trying to cover our costs. And so at this time, what I would like to do, without getting into all the details and all the numbers, is just request that council ask the law director to draft the necessary legislation to adjust the rates and fees for refuse. And then when that's brought forth at our next meeting, if our law director has that legislation ready, then I'll go through each line item that we changed, and we can discuss it at that time.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions tonight?
Just real quick, as a rookie, did we look at it in the past? You know, one might say, did we wait too long? You know, should we have looked maybe 10 years ago? You know, when you mentioned 20 years, costs have been going up and up. In retrospect, would we say we probably should have addressed it years ago?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's something that any of these rates and fees, I would say at the very least every 3 or 4 years, if you're looking at things. To go 15 and 20 years, to me, is not good, because now we're stuck with addressing it.
Right, it wasn't a sudden jump, and it's been gradual. Exactly,
and you know, I've discussed it with Kevin, and if you look at our funds over the years, especially the last 4 or 5 years, they're going down. Now, we're not in dire straits at this point. You know, what's the magical number? We've always felt like, in a lot of these funds, $1 million. You really need to you've got three pieces of equipment out there, very, very expensive pieces of equipment that you have to plan for the replacement of. Just this past year, we ended up leasing a truck for a couple of months at a great expense, just because we had a broken piece of equipment. So we have to be able to afford to replace those pieces of equipment. We were fortunate enough to get a new one this year, so it's gonna be, I believe, at least 3 years before we get another piece of equipment, but, you know, you're talking $300,000 and up. So we are okay right now, but we're definitely trending down, and we wanna grab the bull by the horns before it gets too out of line.
If, Council President, if I could just add to that. I think with we call it's in the notes here, the 560 fund, it's our fund number for our refuge service. As long as that fund is healthy, we choose not to look at increasing our cost. You know, we're not here to make money, for example. And for a majority of those years, our 560 fund has been pretty solid. It's just within the last 4 years or back, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, we've seen a steady decline from our fund balances. So not only that, with the increase of cost of doing the work or having the work done, and the increase of the amount of work that's being done out there. You know, this been looked at probably maybe 3 years ago? Yeah, but certainly now is the time that we have to address that. So, thank you.
Thank you. I'll just add, the amount of research and time that went into the presentation for the Water, Sewer, and Refuse Committee was dramatic. So thank you to Andy and Chad and to Brandy out at the Ops Building for putting all that together. That info is in the packet. If we could just be sure it's in the packet again for the next meeting before we vote on this, I think that would be helpful.
Absolutely.
If there are no other questions or comments.
So, just so I'm clear,
Yes,
we're
sir.
going to have a full discussion then when it comes to the table?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Could we have a motion to have, to direct the law director to draft legislation, please?
So move.
Second?
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes?
Okay.
Thank you.
Item N4, discussion or action, liquor permit application for River City Recreation at 380 Independence Drive in Napoleon, Ohio. I know typically no action on this is our approval.
Right, yeah, usually there's somebody from the PD here to answer to this, but they're all out celebrating. We've received no negative feedback on this, so,
Okay.
yeah.
I
no
believe
action
it's just
required.
a change in the name of the owner.
Okay. All right, unless there are other questions or comments, we will move on. All right. Item N5, discussion or action, Charter Review Commission meetings and appointments. Andy?
Yeah, I added this the last time for you to start thinking about it. Again, the commission is made up of 7 members. Each shall be a resident and qualified elector of the city. 5 of the members shall be appointed by council. 2, but not more than 2, can be council members. And then 2 shall be appointed by the mayor. And if you're prepared to do that tonight, you may do that, but.
I did reach out to a few members of the community to gauge their interest. The names that I have, I would propose that council would appoint the mayor, Mr. Belarucki, also Dan Baer, former councilman, and Tim Downey, I believe school
A retired teacher.
retired teacher, and then 2 members of council. If there are 2 that would like to serve on the commission, I think it would be a great learning opportunity, if anyone is interested.
I'll do it.
Great, thank you.
Yes, I will.
Mr. Hayes? All right, sounds good.
Okay, and I did the same. I reached out to a few people to see if they had some interest, and I'd like to appoint Lori Seclair and Jeff Hofer.
Marissa, do we need a motion to appoint those people?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Could we have a motion from council to appoint the mayor, Dan Bear, Tim Downey, Brittany Schwab, and Ken Hayes to the Charter Commission?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Perfect. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes,
Okay. And can we have a motion to approve the mayor's recommendation of Lori Seclair and Jeff Hofer?
Motion.
Second?
Thank you. Brittany, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
yes,
Perfect. Thank you all for your willingness to do that. Appreciate it. Item N6, discussion or action to approve PC 2401, street dedication, 700 block of Trail Drive. Andy?
Yes, this item and the next item went before the planning commission last Tuesday evening. This first resolution is, again, just the dedication of Trail Drive. It's about approximately the last 295 feet of Trail Drive was never dedicated as a public right-of-way. So the city accepted that through this resolution. It was built in 2021, so it's been out there and active for 3 years as basically a private street. The first resolution was, and that's what the first resolution was all about.
Okay, perfect. We need a motion to approve this, correct?
To approve the planning commission's recommendation.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, sir. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob.
yes,
Okay. And N7, discussion or action to approve PC 2402, conditional use permit of 800 and 900 block of Trail Drive. Andy?
Yes, Council President. This one actually split the property, the parcel, and also, as you just said, approve the conditional use permit for a planned apartment development at the end of Trail Drive. Let me throw up some pictures here. This one's not so good. Okay, whoa. Forgot I couldn't do that with this computer. Okay, this is Scott Street over here. This is Glenwood over here. And this is Trail Drive. This complex will end up, I did a cut and paste here, at the end of Trail Drive with 6 separate units. It's on the north side of this, the split occurred across this property approximately right there. The top half is around 12 and a half acres. It involves the construction of 7 buildings. 6 of them, each contains 36 units for a total of 216 apartment units. And then the last one is an office/community building at the entrance to the facility. It's in a C4 planned commercial district. It simply needed a conditional use permit to allow it there. They're market-based apartments. They're not income-based apartments. They're market rate apartments, which really fills a void in the city. We just don't have any decent apartments available at the present time, and this really does help fill that void. Following discussion and feedback from residents, the planning commission passed it unanimously. I will say there were 3 residents from 2 households that spoke against the development, and both of them stated, I know we're being selfish, but basically not in my backyard type of thing. I understand the one resident lived down on North Harmony Drive, which is around 550 feet from the proposed development. and the other resident lived over on Glenwood in the new home that was constructed over on Glenwood near the overpass. Be glad to answer any questions. This, Nathan, I was on your website today and I pulled this off. This is from Cash Wagner, engineered this project in Michigan. I think it's somewhat similar in the number of buildings that are proposed. The last thing I want to show you is this picture. This is one that was provided me from Nathan Wagner last week at the meeting. And I thought I'd show that. That's what they will look like. So I'm willing to answer any questions. Nathan Wagner is here from Cash Wagner, the engineers and planners that are putting this project together. And I think between the two of us, we ought to be able to answer any questions you might have.
Can I say something, please? Andy, I just wanted to mention during that meeting as well, there was a lot of discussion about traffic. And I think you mentioned that we're going to do a traffic study at Trail and Scott Street.
Correct. Yeah, I've spoken with our Public Works Director on that, and that is something that we will have to conduct. We do them anyway in the city, but being that it's a state highway, 108, it's an absolute that we do this. So yes, in order to even consider putting a traffic signal at Trail Drive and Scott Street, we will have to conduct a traffic study. So that will have to be completed prior to this being finished.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you back up one slide, please? Where it shows.
I think I was showing you this one.
I was wondering for that.
Questions?
Oh gosh, now you got
One
me.
to the left.
There we go. Yeah, that's right along the 24, correct?
Yes, sir. That's,
Is there going to be, has anybody looked at whether a sound barrier is going to need to be set up there?
that's certainly not our call. I mean, that would
I
be-
just, because that's right along there, I don't know if one would be needed or not. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you have, let me go back here and see if I can manipulate this properly. We have homes right here that are as close or closer than,
Okay.
it does have the wall though. That was constructed several years ago. But again, that's out of our hands.
Yeah, I was just.
Nathan, would you like to come up and add anything about the project?
Yeah, Nathan Wagner, Cash Wagner and Associates. Andy did a pretty good job explaining the project. I would add, I did look at the traffic a little more since last week, and I'm pretty confident that it's a good situation. I think if anybody suffers, it'd be our own tenants leaving in the mornings or coming home at night. I don't think they'll interfere with the general public because there's already a left turn lane out there now. If I don't see a stoplight being needed anytime soon. Like I said, the only other time people would have a hard time getting in and out would be maybe in the mornings turning left. But I don't see it being bogged down to a level of service that's, frustrating.
And you've done a number of these projects all over
Yes.
Ohio, Michigan, Indiana.
Right. That picture you showed, the overhead view, was from Dundee, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah,
And these are similar to the units in Waterville?
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you choosing Napoleon. What made you decide to put these units here in Napoleon?
Well, the broker and the property owner got a hold of us, and we had been looking and just trying to find the right piece of property and close to shopping, Walmart, commercial corridor, highway visibility,
Right.
proximity. You're between Defiance and Toledo. Workers can go both directions.
Right.
That's why.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say just from different committees and boards that I've participated on, housing has been a huge need within the community.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the investment in Napoleon. I don't see any issues with this. I did attend the meeting last week and listened to those three residents, and their concerns are valid. but I think this is a great opportunity for Napoleon, so it'd be my idea to move forward with this without a doubt. What other questions do we have?
Just a quick comment. I thank Nathan for coming again, to the planning commission tonight, and for Andy to, be able to let us see a little bit more, where it's gonna be located, how far away from the homes it is. So thank you. You're welcome.
How soon would you be able to break ground, and when would the first one be open, if, in best case scenario?
Believe it or not, our biggest hurdle right now is electric. Getting transformers and meter banks, we're 12 to 18 months out on just getting those. So there's your answer. It's gonna be at least 12 to 18 months
Okay.
to get the first one open.
If you are able to get those sooner,
Oh, yeah.
that would move it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're trying to order things ahead of time. It's just, you order them, and they tell you it's gonna be here in 6 months, and it turns into 12, it turns into 18.
Right. We've experienced that as well.
Something we're completely familiar
It
with.
seems to be
Yes.
getting worse, not better. Yeah.
Right.
I have an engineering question.
Yeah.
You have that listed as wetlands in the center of that. That whole area out there was a strip mine. Now, how did that get classified as a wetland?
Just, it becomes emergent wetland over time. It just sits there saturated. Birds bring in wetland vegetation. We think, though, with there was a recent Supreme Court decision called the Sackett decision this past summer that is reducing the Corps' jurisdiction. We think some of that will become less regulated out there. A year ago, it'd be regulated. Maybe by the time they get their guidance out this summer, it may not be.
Because I worked out there
Yeah.
when it was a strip mine.
Yeah.
So that's always bugged me.
It's like they dug a hole and just left it and probably intended to keep going.
That goes clear out on the other side of 24.
Does it really?
That was a tile mill.
Yeah.
They made clay tile out there and brick.
Yeah.
And they had their own little railroad out there
Really?
to haul the dirt in.
Is that a couple of years ago?
A couple of years ago.
Well, Nathan, thank you again.
Thank
Appreciate you being
Thank you
here.
for your time.
Okay. If there are no other comments or questions, we will take a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will go around the table. Kevin, we'll start with you this evening.
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Tom?
I'm good, thank you.
Dr. Dave?
I have nothing.
Brittany, okay. Mr. Hayes?
I'm fine.
Mr. Weitzel?
I have one thing for you. Remember the crossing we talked about and the spotlight that was pointed out by
Yes, sir.
fans? I think it worked for a while, and I think it was on when the sun went down. And I'm pretty sure I noticed that it did not come on recently. And so it may have just burned out. If somebody would just check that to be sure. I noticed that it wasn't as lit, and then I drove by one night and it wasn't on, and the rest of the streetlights were. So maybe intermittent, or it may be burned out already. Thank you.
Have a look at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andy, anything for you?
No, I've said enough. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
Law Director?
Tammy, yeah?
Well, the next council meeting won't be until February, so with the Charter Review Commission beginning, you may want to set a date for a meeting, either tonight or at the next February meeting, we can talk with them. If you do decide to make some changes, it's along the zoning review process.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, we will do that, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
I have nothing today, thank you.
any appointments that you need to make? I'm not putting you on the spot.
Man. I do. First one would be for the Parks and Rec Board. I'm going to appoint Dan Bear. He misses us already, so he's already gonna be on a couple different things, so, yeah. Grab my notes here. Actually, that is the only new one that we have. Nothing else has changed. Pardon me?
Is there a tree commission?
I think there was today. There was a meeting today, Tree Commission.
We had it,
We need to renew
yeah,
that.
we have.
Pardon me?
The reappointments for everyone who expired.
Okay. So, starting at the top would be Board of Public Affairs, Rory Priggy will be reappointed to that. Board of Zoning Appeals, Lynn Roush. Planning Commission, Suzette Gherkin. Tree Commission, Gary Hayes. Civil Service, Megan Lytle Steele. Parks and Recreation Board, Ryan Function and Chad Richardson are being reappointed. And then, like I said, Dan Bear is going to join that board. Preservation Commission, Gabe Pollock, and Marv Barlow. I will have to double check if he's still available. I did not get a hold of him. Charter Review, we already did those. I believe that's it.
Okay. Can I have a motion from council to approve those appointments?
So move.
Second?
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Davis? Yes. Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just had one quick note. I will request executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or employees. I'll be quick, I promise.
Sure.
We can have a motion.
A motion.
Second.
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Davis? Yes. Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
All right. Just elected officials for now. Come out of executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or employees.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Davis? Yes. Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Okay. Item O, approval of payments of bills and financial reports. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the payment of bills and financial reports shall stand approved. I'm hearing none, they'll stand approved. And item P, a motion for adjournment, please.
Motion.
Second?
Perfect. Marissa, please call the roll.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Davis?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.